So in this video, my primary purpose is to go over a mistake and issue that some students make with respect to keeping track of what is due and how to complete what is due in terms of how they're using the gradebook and or not using the course schedule. But before I do that, I do want to let you know about my one-time second chance policy. That is something that I reference in the syllabus. It is right here on page 4, I believe, a one-time second chance opportunity. So as you should know by now, you should have read every single word in the syllabus at this point if you're watching this video. And you know that I have what are called official deadlines and late deadlines. I know that life happens, which is why I have late deadlines. So you don't even have to ask for an extension because I already have built-in late deadlines. The incentive, of course, for submitting something on time is that your stuff gets graded right away within 24 to 72 hours. As you know from reading this page in the syllabus, if you submit something after the official deadline, but by the late deadline, your stuff will, anything that's submitted by the late deadline after the official deadline doesn't get graded till the end of the semester. So there's definitely an incentive for getting stuff in by the official deadline, and of course getting stuff in by the official deadline gives you more time to work on a new unit of task. That said, if you miss the late deadline, you get zeros. The one-time second chance opportunity can be used to submit something after even the late deadline. You can use this opportunity only once. So let's say for whatever reason, you did not get all of the tasks in Unit 1 done by the late deadline that is 7/18. You still have to complete all of the stuff, of course, for Unit 1, and of course you know that from reading this. But you know that if you miss the late deadline for Unit 1, there's a 25-point deduction for each thing that's late. If I see that you submitted something after the late deadline, then I will automatically deploy your one-time second chance opportunity to submit something after the late deadline. And so, basically, I won't take off points if you submit anything from Unit 1 after the late deadline. But of course, you need to get through Unit 1 in a timely manner, because 11 days into the semester, that's almost 30% through the semester, and you don't want to miss anything that is due here. Now, when it comes to, let's say you get everything here for Unit 1 in by the late deadline, hopefully by the official deadline, then what I'm saying with my one-time second chance opportunity is that if you have not already used it during Unit 1, then let's say you get everything done, you get all but one task done for Unit 2 by the late deadline. You missed the late deadline. Well, then you can, what I will do is if I see you've missed it, I will give you special access to the bundle to let you use your one-time second chance to submit something after the late deadline without a penalty. However, that one-time second chance, I only give you one more day to complete that assignment. When it comes to Unit 1, that doesn't apply because you have to complete Unit 1 before you can do anything. But you can use a one-time second chance opportunity for any of these units. And like I said, I automatically deploy those. If you do not use it, when I automatically deploy it, then it's not counted as used. You'll know that you have used your one-time second chance opportunity to submit something late by looking at the gradebook. So in the gradebook, where is it? Here it is. You see I have one-time second chance used. You'll see a check mark if you've used it. If you've used it, then you cannot use it anymore because it's, like I said, one time. When I say you can use it for a given unit, that means if you miss just one item, then you get to submit that item after the late deadline for full credit. If you missed everything, then you can submit everything for that unit for full credit after the late deadline. But you only get one more day, 24 more hours to submit whatever it is that you missed for the late deadline. All right, so that said, I want to go over that mistake that I was referencing earlier in the video. And that is that a huge mistake that some students make is that they try to rely on the gradebook for deciding what is due. The problem is the grade book tells you only what has to be submitted for a grade. So notice that this says Unit 1 Task E. Well, where are the components A, B, C, D? This says Unit 1 Task 2B. Oh, well, there must be a 2A. Here's Unit 1 Task 3C. Well, where's 3A and 3B? And then here you have Unit 1 Task, this should actually say 4B. Well, where's 4A? Okay, so the thing is that, again, the gradebook has only the graded components of a given task. It does not include important contextual information, such as lecture videos, written instructions, instructions that are given in videos. It's missing the context for which you are being graded in virtue of the items that you see in the gradebook. So let's just take one example. This one's, we'll focus on this one right here. It says submit original arguments in light of what you learned via task 3A and 3B. And so I've had students say, I'm so confused, I don't know what to do. And the thing is that they're just coming to the gradebook and they're like, I don't know what to write about. I wouldn't know what to write about either. I have missing information here. So what you need to do is always go to the syllabus, right? This is your task list. And like I might have mentioned in an orientation video, you want to print this out or write it up by hand and then literally cross out everything. Don't just copy the task itself, like these major bullets, but also the minor bullets. So let's go ahead and go to right here, this one as an example, task 3. So here it says submit original arguments in light of what you learned in virtue of task 3A and 3B. And as you can see, that aligns with this right here in the gradebook. That said, in the gradebook, you don't get this information here. So this says follow a video-based lessons on argument construction within philosophy. Use argument lessons and additional lecture videos to construct 3 arguments per written and video-based content you work through. So as you can see, there's quite a bit of lessons, lectures, coaching via videos that tell you exactly and precisely what you need to know to submit what it is that I want for Unit 1 Task 3C, which is part of Unit 1 Task 3. So just to emphasize visually, this is just the part that you submit, but it doesn't include any information about the what and the how. It has no context. So make sure that you do not make the mistake of relying on the gradebook. Another mistake that I want to point out is that it has to do with the SmartBook task that you'll be completing in this class. So in the SmartBook task, well, you'll notice that there's always a due date here, right? Oh, and notice that the step 5 of orientation for task 1, it's due July 9th for census. If you submit it later, I'll still grade it, it still counts, but I have to report to the registrar whether or not you're active, and my deadline for doing that is July 9th. Therefore, what I use is a student submission of this task here to count them as an active student. So make sure you get this done by July 9th. If you don't, then as far as I know, you can still be in the class, but I can't report you as active in the class. Now, what else do I want to say? Oh yes, I was going here to the SmartBook. So when it comes to the SmartBook, I put the due date right here. Okay, so here's a due date, here's a due date, here's a due date. And this is all of Unit 1, and technically you have 11 days to complete all of this. But you need to complete, like I said, this one for census reasons by July 9th. This one makes it look like the official deadline is July 18th. This is a weird thing with the SmartBook and the Connect platform. The Connect platform is such that I have to put in the late deadline. If I put in the official deadline, then it will not count your completed task if you do it after the official deadline, and it creates a big headache for me and the student. So what you're always going to see with respect to the gradebook and your SmartBook task is you're always going to see, or the due date in here, you're going to see a different date from what is in the official course schedule. So this says July 18th. That's actually the late deadline. I will put the official deadline for a given SmartBook task in the title of the task or task component. So here you can see complete interactive reading and submit results due by 7/16. So that's the official deadline. And then here is the late deadline. This is the official deadline, Technically, the official deadline for this one's the 16th, but for census reasons, I have it as July 9th. You will see here that I have, learn more about the discipline of philosophy. So the last task in Unit 1, you do technically have till the 16th of July for the official deadline, but of course, the late deadline is 2 days later. Okay, so that's all I want to cover in this video.